Luxury, betrayal, encrypted messages, and a Bengal cat in Gucci. In this video, we take a look at the recent case of Britain's most unexpected drug queen. This is the story of the gangster granny. Take a listen to the following. In the early hours of an April morning, undercover officers watched as a woman loaded boxes into a hire car at a retail park near the port of Harwich in Essex. They had received a tip-off about the car which had travelled from Islington that night. The car was driven on towards Ipswich, where the woman handed over a heavy laundry bag to an unknown male. She certainly didn't look like someone you'd expect to be carrying out a drug deal. Her defence barrister said she was undoubtedly singled out as someone who would not catch the eye. That woman was Deborah Mason, known to family as Gangster Debs or Queen Bee, a grandmother and the matriarch of a crime family that operated across southeast England. Mason had recruited her 4 children, her sister and others close to the family to help supply cocaine around the country, funding a lavish lifestyle which included Gucci designer goods bought for her cat and a Bugatti kettle costing £192. On Friday, the 65-year-old was sentenced to 20 years in prison for conspiracy to supply Class A drugs at Woolwich Crown Court. The rest of the gang received sentences of between 10 and 15 years for the same charge. The Metropolitan Police watched Mason for 7 months after that morning in Harwich, as she and her family-run gang completed cocaine and Class A drug pickups at ports, mainly Harwich but also Folkestone and Dover. The pattern was often the same. Tightly wrapped packages of cocaine would be collected, divided between supermarket bags for life, and then delivered to the next person in the chain. Police watched the gang complete drop-offs in South London, Cardiff, Bristol, Sheffield, Rotherham, Manchester, Bradford, Southend, Leicester and Walsall. One man arrested by police in Leicester shortly after a handover was found with 10 kilos of cocaine. Other trips would be to collect their wages, as they described it. In total, the drugs the gang handled were worth £25 to £30 million at wholesale, with a street value of up to £80 million, the prosecution said during Friday's sentencing hearing. The court heard the gang had used aliases to communicate with each other and with their supplier, a man known only as Bugsy on the encrypted messaging app Signal. Mason enjoyed a close relationship with Bugsy and even went on holiday with him to Dubai and Bahrain in October 2023. Over a 7-month period, Mason carried out 20 trips, transporting at least 356 kilos of cocaine as well as delivering and collecting cash. Judge Philip Shorrock said Mason had a, quote, leading role and described her as the site foreman working under a project manager. As a mother, you should have been setting an example to your children, not corrupting them, he said. The court heard Mason did not buy drugs herself, but was part of the direction of multi-kilo transactions. Prosecutor Charlotte Hull said she also organised those who drove for her, staying in phone contact from the early hours to make sure they were up, and checking in on them during the day. Financial gain was the motivation, and police said Mason had spent extravagantly, including on designer clothing, bags and accessories. Among these were a £390 Gucci collar and lead, and a 9-carat gold engraved name tag for Mason's Bengal cat. When she was arrested, footage showed her being handcuffed in her bathroom next to a designer DKNY towel. At the time the conspiracy was taking place, Mason received £50,000 in benefits, Miss Hull told the court. Mason expressed a desire to go to Turkey for cosmetic procedures and took a cut of the wages of others, Miss Hull said. She booked holidays with her sister to Cornwall, Malta, Prague and Poland, and took her daughters to Dubai, where they continue to direct operations in the UK via FaceTime. Mason, whose number was saved in one of her children's phones under the name Queen Bee, involved her 3 daughters, her son and 2 of their partners in the conspiracy. They are all now starting lengthy prison sentences behind bars. A friend, Anita Slaughter, 44, has also been jailed. Mason's son, Reggie Bright, 24, delivered at least 90 kilos of cocaine over 12 trips, often travelling alongside his partner, Demi Kendall, 31, or his sister, Lily Bright, 27, as well as his mother. He used a signal alias Frank and was clearly known to and in direct contact with the upstream supplier. Miss Holt added that Reggie Bright and Demi Kendall were also caught running their own separate drugs line from their caravans in Kent, in breach of a previous suspended sentence order imposed on them for drug-related offences. The prosecution argued Mason's eldest daughter, Demi Bright, had a significant role in operations, delivering about 60 kilos of cocaine, although she was not as active as other family members as she had other sources of income. Mason's other daughters, Roseanne Mason and Lily Bright, were also found guilty. Roseanne Mason, 30, took part in 7 identified trips, including to Bradford and Manchester. Lily Bright made 20 identified trips, and the court heard she had a clear expectation of significant financial advantage. Lily Bright involved her partner Chloe Hodgkin, who the court heard will be sentenced at a later date once she has given birth. In mitigation, each defence lawyer argued that all involved were, quote, expendable compared with the wider drug enterprise, and that most of the children were couriers making trips across the UK. This was no ordinary family, as Specialist Prosecutor Robert Hutchinson said. Instead of nurturing and caring for her relatives, Deborah Mason recruited them to establish an extraordinarily profitable criminal enterprise that would ultimately put them all behind bars. Miss Holt said there was no suggestion of pressure or coercion for any of them to be part of the conspiracy, and all had been motivated by financial benefit. They were given the following sentences: Reggie Bright, 24, of Staplehurst, Kent, 15 years. Demi Kendall, 31, of Staplehurst, 13.5 years. Lily Bright, 26, of Ashford, Kent, 13 years. Anita Slaughter, 44, Ashford, 13 years. Demi Bright, 30, of Ashford, 11 years. Roseanne Mason, 29, of Canonbury, North London, 11 years. Tina Golding, 66, Ashford, 10 years. Chloe Hodgkin, 23, of Y Kent, to be sentenced at a later date. Metropolitan Police Detective Jack Croshaw, who led the investigation, described Mason's operation as sophisticated and said it was extremely profitable for those involved. The group was sucked into criminality, he said, selfishly attracted by the financial benefits of the drug dealing to fund lavish lifestyles.
So, the search warrant, the moment in time you're under arrest for concern and supply of Class A. You do not have to say anything but may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something which you may rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Necessity is prompt and effective investigation and to prevent loss of evidence.
Okay.
Right. The time is...
Yes, I believe I've sent an email the RFD just to be made aware that they have to be on their time.
Book of name and numbers.
Yeah, I've got a good call.
So it comes out.
Keep it sharp on this actuation, stand by.
Police! Stand by your stop! Police officers, right? Police officers, okay? We've got a search warrant. Relax. Relax yourselves. Relax. Relax. Calm down.
Why? There's babies in here. Can you please be careful, please?
Yeah, we will be.
There's literally a load of babies in here. Please be careful. Please be careful. Please be careful.
No worries at all.
Please be careful. What the
So, madam, with police officers, we've got a warrant here, okay? Under Section 8 of PACE, all right? So that gives us the power to enter and to search and arrest persons within, okay?
Okay.
Just relax. No harm's going to come to you, okay?
Please, show me hands. That's it. Move to the side. That's it, move to the side. It's all right. Come down this way. We've got room down here as well.
Get in my house.
So we have a warrant at the moment. You'll get explained to you by the officers in charge in a second, alright?
For what? You're on my door, man. Oh, please.